yourself for the ride! 3D!
Hello, it is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. It is National 3D Day. Not Team 3D, the Dudley Boys. This weekend I will not be wrestling. I actually have this weekend off, but please go check out some local wrestling, music, live events, or spend quality time with your loved ones, related or chosen. Upcoming wrestling dates: Friday, April 1st, I'm returning to Oshawa, Ontario for the first time since August 2020. Saturday, April 9th, I'll be returning back to Barrie, Ontario for Barrie Wrestling, and Saturday, April 16th, Cambridge, Ontario, Crossbody Pro Wrestling. Later on this month, I'll be returning to Ottawa, Montreal, and Hamilton for the first time since February 2020. Patreon Zooms last night, we just had the game night. We played Jackbox. It was super fun. Morgan's friend Dylan joined us. We got to meet Dylan, or as his Jackbox name was, DYLDO, which is Dildo. Watch along of ECW Living Dangerously is this Sunday, March 27th at 8 p.m. for the meal tier and higher, but for all tiers, the promo contest judging will take place Monday, March 27th at 8 p.m. Deadline is this Thursday. You got 2 more days, March 24th at midnight Eastern. Follow me at Holden Pro on Twitter and Instagram, where I host Instagram Live every Monday night at 7:15 p.m., where you can be a guest or appear on stream if you're a Patreon member. Last night we had a buddy, Bo, I believe. I know his gimmick is a mechanic. I forget his. Doc Richards. That's it, I got it. Big Grizz was there, Amy Crimson, and I talked about getting blue balls in a graveyard. Fun times. Way too open. All other links are quick access in the description and the bios below, but most importantly, patreon.com/BrendoneC, BRENDONE, the letter C, down below. Join the Acolytes All Break, exclusive merch, content, shoutouts, and Zoom events. All tiers get listed in the credits, but the meal tier and higher get shoutouts, so thank you Gimpy, Uncle Bobby B, Tommy Richardson, Morgan, and Mama Thomas. Mama Thomas was there, but she couldn't figure out her camera because Morgan was at Dylan's place and Mama Thomas was back home. Brian the Pizza Man Watson, Eric Thomas, and Rob Arbic. If you're on Patreon, you get this as a podcast, and you get to read the bio of the script that I'm reading off of to see just how badly I fucked this shit up. And before we get into the fun facts, birthdays, and what the number one song on this day was in 1982, I have to thank the websites nationaldaycalendar.com, onthisday.com, and mybirthdayhits.com. National 3D Day. National 3D Day celebrates the art, science, and history of stereoscopic 3D imagery. Every year in March, on the third day of the third week of the third month. Fuck, that's too many three. Oh, I get it. Three. I get it. Clever. We explore the technologies used to create 3D photographs, movies, and art, and we celebrate the many ways that these images have been viewed and enjoyed. We experience the world in 3 dimensions because we have 2 eyes that see from slightly different perspectives. These 2 points of view are combined in our brains, and the differences between what our eyes see are perceived as a depth. This is called stereoscopic vision. Sir Charles Wheatstone created the first stereo 3D drawings in 1838 during the second half of the 19th century. Viewing 3D photographs became a very popular form of home entertainment. The 20th century saw the invention of 3D movies, comic books, holography, and more ways to view representations of the world in 3D. Recent developments in virtual, augmented, and mixed reality offer new opportunities to create and interact with 3D media. Advancements in 3D technologies bring digital images to 3-dimensional life, assisting surgeons, projecting art around the world, and educating students. What does the future of 3D hold? New developments in stereoscopic capture and display methods will prove to inspire young scientists and storytellers to create the next generation of immersive stereoscopic content. 3D technology may change the world. How to observe #National 3D Day? Learn about the history of 3D technology, which you just did. This includes Sir Charles Wheatstone and all the developments since. Explore the science behind 3D, from cinema to 3D printing, art, and virtual reality programs. The science world offers more ways than ever to delve into the technology of 3D. Invite friends and family to watch a 3D movie. Share your favorite 3D experiences, whether they are movies, books, or art. Develop a 3D design. Share your idea and project too. Visit the National 3D Day website for even more ideas. www.3-dday.com offers a wealth of adventure projects and a way to learn about 3D. When you do, be sure to use hashtag National 3D Day on social media. National 3D Day History, 3D Space, the Center for Stereoscopic Photography, Art, Cinema, and Education, founded National 3D Day in 2020 to recognize the fantastic history and resurgence of 3D technology in the world around us, honoring three-dimensional vision on an annual basis and celebrating the way it contributes to our lives will continue to be an exciting endeavor. The Registrar at National Day Calendar proclaimed National 3D Day to be observed on the third day of the third week in March annually. About 3D Space, 3D Space is a 501c3 nonprofit arts organization located in Los Angeles, California, dedicated to the advancement of current and future 3D arts and sciences. The organization operates a museum, art gallery, and 3D theater, offers educational workshops and programs, and is supported by a team of experts in the arts, nonprofits, and 3D. Their combined knowledge and resources provide a comprehensive learning experience for all ages. 3D frequently asked questions? Question, I wear glasses. Can I still watch a 3D movie? Yes, most 3D glasses are designed to fit over existing eyewear. Is there a new 3D technology that allows me to enjoy the 3D experience without special glasses? Yes, some screens are designed specifically for 3D films, eliminating the necessity for glasses. Are movies the only place to explore 3D technology? No, this technology can be found in art, books, and virtual reality programming. There are over 1,500 national days. Don't miss a single one. Celebrate every day at nationaldaycalendar.com. Ding! I want to know, comment down below in the YouTube video or the Patreon post, what was the first 3D movie you remember? For me, I think it was Shrek 3D. And what was, like, the first one? Like, I know that 3D movies existed. I remember there was a fucking WWF magazine that had, like, it came with the red and blue glasses, and you saw the images, and they're in 3D. It was super cool. Album artwork was kind of cool like that. But I want to know, what was the first that you really remember? What's your favorite? Or if you fucking hate 3D movies, comment down below. Especially when you wear glasses. I totally understand if you hate 3D movies. Now going up to celebrated and not so celebrated history. I marked down oh shit, there's even more history than I thought I wrote down. So let's start. March 22nd, 1349, townspeople of Fulda, Germany massacred Jews, blaming them for the Black Death. 1622, first American Indian, Powhatan, massacre of Europeans in Jamestown, Virginia. In 1622, Virginia, 347 are killed. Oh, I was supposed to look up the word killed. This is... In 1765, the Stamp Act is passed, the first direct British tax on American colonists, organized by Prime Minister George Grenville. In 1778, Captain James Cook sights Cape Flattery, now in Washington State. In 1784, the Emerald Buddha is moved with great ceremony to its current place in Wat Phra Kaeo, Thailand. In 1790, Thomas Jefferson becomes the first U.S. Secretary of State under President Washington. In 1832, British Parliament, led by Charles Grey, passes the Reform Act, introducing wide-ranging changes to the electoral system of England and Wales, increasing the electorate from about 500,000 voters to 813,000 voters. In 1894, the first Stanley Cup Championship Series begins. Montreal defeats Ottawa. In 1895, Auguste and Louis Lumiere show their first movie to an invited audience. In 1896, Charlas Vasilikos of Greece wins first modern marathon in 3 minutes and 18 at the Pan-Hellenic Games. Pan-Hellenic? In 1903, U.S. Anthracite Coal Commission, set up by President Theodore Roosevelt, submits its recommendations for shorter hours, a 10% wage increase, and an open shop. In 1913, Song Jiorn, leader of the Chinese Kuomintang Party, shot at the Shanghai railway station, dies 2 days later, thought orchestrated by the Kuomintang president Yuan Shikai. I'm sure I'll be talking about him in 2 days. In 1933, FDR makes wine and beer up to 3.2% alcohol legal. In 1954, Northling Center, the world's largest shopping mall at the time, opens in Oak Park, Michigan. Wait, so going back to FDR in 33. So wine and beer with up to 3.2% alcohol legal. Ooh, 3.2%. I'm Canadian, so like beer up here is like 8 to 12%. But like there was Coke in the medicine and like drugs, like hard like class A drugs, and 3.2% alcohol wasn't legal until March 22nd, 1933. Weird priorities. In 1956, the musical Mr. Wonderful with Sammy Davis Jr. and his father, Sammy Davis Sr., opens at Broadway Theater in New York City for 383 performances. That's cool. I like the father-son dynamic. In 1957, All Shook Up single is released by Elvis Presley. In 1958, the 20th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, Kentucky beat Seattle 84-72. Seattle's future Hall of Fame small forward Elgin Baylor is named Tournament MOP. MOP? Please tell me what MOP stands for. Because not MVP? Most offensive player? I'd be the most offensive player in Ontario. In 1958, under pressure, King Saud appoints Faisal Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. In 1960, the first patent for lasers is granted to Arthur Shawallow and Charles Towns. In 1963, the Beatles released their first album, Please Please Me. In 1965, the U.S. confirms its troops used chemical warfare against the Viet Cong. In 1967, Muhammad Ali knocks out Zora Foley in 7 for heavyweight boxing title. In 1972, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is named the NBA MVP. In 1984, Islander Byron Trottier ties NHL record, scores 5 seconds into game. In 1993, Intel introduces platinum processing, 64-bit, 60 megahertz, 100 plus MIPs. Co-founder Andrew Grove died yesterday, 6 years ago, so that's interesting that like a day after his death, 23 years before he was alive. Yeah, so it's interesting. In 1993, Andre the Giant's induction into the inaugural Hall of Fame is announced. No ceremony takes place, and he is inducted posthumously. In 1994, Not a Moment Too Soon, the second studio album of Tim McGraw is released, Billboard Album of the Year, 1994. 94, the National Football League officially adopts the 2-point conversion rule. The rule gives the offense option to scrimmage after a touchdown from the 2-yard line to the end zone for 2 extra points versus kicking for a single extra point. In 1997, at the age of 14 years, 10 months, Tara Lipinski becomes the youngest world figure skating champion. Less than a year later, she would also become the youngest Olympic figure skating gold medalist when she competes at the Olympic Winter Games in Nagano, Japan. In 2006, 3 Christian peacemaker teams hostages are freed by the British forces in Baghdad after 118 days captivity and the death of their colleague, American Tom Fox. In 2008, the first international pillow fight flash mob took place in 25 cities around the world. Now, do you guys remember flash mobs being a thing? Like, I think it was improv everywhere, and then there's even an improv in Toronto. They are responsible for the No Pants subway ride and shit like that. Did you guys ever take part in those? Did you guys know about that? I want to know. Comment down below. In 2008, I already did that. In 2011, Lawrence Taylor, WWE WrestleMania main eventer, pleads guilty for misdemeanors of sexual misconduct and is sentenced to 6 years probation. In 2013, American rock band My Chemical Romance announced their breakup. In 2018, U.S. President Donald Trump imposes $60 billion worth of tariffs on Chinese imports. In 2020, India puts 1 billion people under a daytime curfew to curb COVID-19. In 2020, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei refuses American COVID-19 help, refers a conspiracy theory that was manufactured by the U.S. So yeah, it's very interesting that Iran is like, fuck you, U.S., we're not going to ask you for your help, we think you started this, and then fucking dumb people in the U.S. are like, it's the China flu, those Chinese did it. It's funny that it's like, everyone has their own fucking conspiracy theories. In 2021, Evanston, Illinois votes to become the first USA to pay reparations to black residents for past discriminations and effects of slavery, giving $400,000 to each household. I listened to a podcast about that last year, and it's super interesting because like $400,000 is enough to like change your life. Like you can buy a house if you've never owned a house in your life. You can clear out most of your debt because your debt probably isn't more than $100,000. Like $400,000 to a household is life changing. In 2021, the world's largest painting, The Journey of Humanity by British artist Shah Jaffrey, sells in Dubai for $62 million to raise funds for children's charities. Coming up next, some birthdays. Ooh. Some birthdays from March 22nd. In 1846, Randolph Caldet, the British illustrator, is known for his contributions to children's literature, and his influence was so far-reaching that the American Library Association created the Randolph Caldet Medal in honor to award the most distinguished picture books created each year. In 1868, Robert A. Milken, an American physicist, photoelectric effect Nobel Prize winner in 1923, is born in Morrison, Illinois. He dies in 1953. In 1869, Emilio Aguinaldo, the first president of the Philippines, 1899 to 1901, is born in Cavite, Philippines, dies in 1964. In 1880, Ernie Quigley, a Canadian Basketball Hall of Fame official, St. Mary's College, Kansas University, basketball empire in 1936 Olympics, MLB empire in 6 World Series, and football referee, was born in Newcastle, New Brunswick. Dies in 1906. Fuck yeah, Ernie, you fucking did every sport. Shit. Football ref, MLB, basketball. Fuck yeah. Ernie's awesome. In 1900, Ruth Page, the legendary ballet dancer and choreographer, was an international Fuck, why is Trailblazer gaming? Let's start this over again. On March 22nd, 1900, Ruth Page is born. She is the legendary ballet dancer and choreographer and was an international trailblazer in the world of dance. That only took me 5 tries. In 1908, Louise Loamar's frontier novels bring western North Dakota and rural living to life. Along with short stories and poetry, his novels Hondo, Walking Drum, and The Last of the Breed are some of his most popular works. In 1912, Agnes Martin, a Canadian-American abstract painter born in Macklin, Saskatchewan, he died in 2004. In 1922, Yao Kusama, the Japanese contemporary artist, rose to prominence during the 1950s, incorporating what is now her trademark polka dots into abstract forms, canvases, and everyday objects. In 1930, Stephen Sondheim, an American Tony Award and Pulitzer Prize-winning composer and lyricist, West Side Story, Sunday in the Park with George, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and Gypsy, is born in New York City, New York. He died in 2021. In 1931, William Shatner, the Canadian actor of stage and screen, became a pop culture icon when he was cast in the role of Captain James T. Kirk on Star Trek in 1966. Shatner has also put on the director's hat and published several books. He is also known for his role as Denny Crane in Boston Legal, born in Montreal, Quebec. Wait a minute. William Shatner is born March 22nd, 1931. He plays James T. Kirk on Star Trek. We'll come back to that. That's a little teaser. In 1942, Dick Pound, So his last name Pound, first name Dick. Pound, Dick is a great porn name. He's also apparently the Canadian chairman of the World Anti-Doping Agency. So I didn't think Canyon Seaman could get worse. Dick Pound is a worse name than Canyon Seaman. In 1947, James Patterson, the prolific American author, has written over 100 bestsellers. Patterson writes a variety of genres, including science fiction, thrillers, and mystery. Among his bestsellers are books from his Alex Cross series. In 1948, Andrew Lloyd Webber, the British composer of 21 musicals, first brought the world Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat in 1967. Since then, he stunned us with award-winning hits on the West End and Broadway, including Evita, Jesus Christ Superstars, Cats, and The Phantom of the Opera. Stephanie Mills is born in 1957. The Grammy-winning actress, singer-songwriter dazzled audiences in 1974 as Dorothy in the musical The Wiz on Broadway. In 1981, she won the Grammy for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance for the song Never Knew Love Like This Before. In 1966, Todd Edwin, he's a Canadian NHL right wing for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, born in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. In 1972, Elvis Stoljic, the Canadian figure skater, is a three-time world champion who took home 2 silver medals at the 1994 Lillehammer Olympics, born in Richmond Hill, Ontario. In 1976, Reese Witherspoon's award-winning actress made her film debut at the age of 14 in 1991's The Man in the Moon. Since then, Witherspoon has tackled a variety of genres, including comedy, Legally Blonde, dramatic musicals, Walk the Line, science fiction, A Wrinkle in Time, and horror, American Psycho. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana, in 1982, Constance Wu, a Taiwanese-American actress fresh out the boat, is born in Richmond, Virginia. In 1989, J.J. Watt, Justin James, an American NFL player for the Houston Texans, is born in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And in 2023, in 111 years, James T. Kirk, science fiction captain of the USS Enterprise, Star Trek, will be born. Now coming up for some deaths. Some noteworthy deaths on March 22nd throughout history. In 1758, Jonathan Edwards, an American Christian preacher, philosopher, and theologian, Original Sin, dies at 54. In 1832, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, a German writer and social philosopher, Faust, dies at 82. So this isn't Wolfgang like the fucking dun-dun-dun-dun guy. What's his name? Composer? Director. Whatever. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Like that kind of shit. What's that fucking called? I forgot the word for the person that, like, orchestra. A fucking, conductor. Conductor? Maybe. Please comment down below. In 1974, Peter Reeveson, an American auto racer, Indianapolis 500 1971 runner-up and two-time Formula One Grand Prix wins, dies in testing accident for South African Grand Prix at 35. In 1990, Gerald Bull, a Canadian long-range artillery designer and engineer, dies at 62. In 2001, William Hanna from Hanna-Barbera, an American animator and studio founder, dies at 90. In 2006, BC Ferries MVP. Oh, I'm coming. No time for running. I was thinking like Montel Vontavious Porter. But this is sad. In 2006, BC Ferries MV Queen of the North runs aground on Gill Island, British Columbia, and sinks. 101 on board, 2 presumed deaths. In 2016, Rob Ford, Canadian politician, Toronto mayor, caught with cocaine. He wasn't caught with coke. He was caught with crack. He wasn't even caught. He was filmed smoking crack. But it is crack cocaine. So he wasn't caught with it. He was caught doing it. He was recorded doing it. He wasn't even caught doing it. He dies at 46. Side note, read the book Crazy Town. From someone that's lived in the greater Toronto area my whole life, Toronto became a super city while I was a child. I'm born in 92. By 2000, it's a super city. So Scarborough, Toronto proper, North York, Etobicoke, York, it was all separate. I didn't know that. I just knew Toronto. And, like, I was born in North York, but, like, even, like, before Darkest Corner of Your Mind for Holden Albright, I said I was from North York, Ontario, because it's something a little different. So it's just very interesting that I learned a lot about Toronto politics, and then learning about Rob Ford and such like that. It's a very good read, and it's from the woman that wrote the original article about the leaked footage. And in 2016, also, suicide bombings at Brussels Zaventem Airport and Malbeek metro station leave around 28 victims dead and 260 injured. ISIS claimed responsibility. In 2021, 10 people are shot dead at a supermarket in Boulder, Colorado by a 21-year-old gunman. And also in 2021, Elgin Baylor, an American Basketball Hall of Fame small forward, 11-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Star Game MVP in 1959, and Minneapolis LA Lakers player, dies at 86. And lastly, if you were born on March 22nd, 1982, so that's 40 years ago, then I Love Rock and Roll, to put another dime in the jukebox, baby, by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts was the #1 song in Canada on your birthday. The song went to #1 on March 20th, 1982 and stayed at the top of the charts for 8 weeks. Now, before we get into the song, let's get a couple breaths in there. I'll do the first 2 with you, and remember, it's in through the nose and out through the mouth like a straw. Now, I recommend doing this 6 to 20 times while I give you some motivation and the song starts playing if you're listening to the podcast. If you're not, the end credits will roll. Highly recommend going to Patreon. Starting April 1st, there will be a tier where you'll just get the car talk and the daily, whatever I call this, the On This Day podcast. And this is Brendan's early and ad-free. So 1, 2, 3 in. And out. 1, 2, 3 in. And out. And as always, you woke up this morning, you're already winning. Even if you fail to make progress today, you can still make progress tomorrow. You can be scared, you can be uncertain, you can be nervous, but show up anyways. That's how you will succeed. Even if you fail, as long as you come back again, that's success. You don't fail 10,000 times. You learn 10,000 ways not to fucking do something. I believe in you. Remember to forgive your younger self. Believe in your current self to create that fucking future self. And I hope you know that you made today a very special day by just being you. I'm grateful that you're alive. 150,000 people on average die every day. You're not one of them. Thank you. And I appreciate that you're listening to this, because I like you kind of just the way you are, enjoying this content, getting some motivation. If you watch this on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, whatever, I appreciate all the support. Thank you for your continued support. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Just have fun, stay safe, stay healthy, and I truly appreciate helping you be on your own pursuits of happiness, because happiness equals success. Success is happiness. Have a good day, everybody. Talk soon.